Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Get Certified. For those of you who don't know my name is Benak, and I'm your guide for your next SAP ABAP certification. So in this video, let's continue where we left off in the last video, and let's continue with the context menu which are available to your SAP editor, which is the tool area, and let's talk about what what are the different context menu which are available. So the first one which is available is what we call the context menu on the left side, on the left margin, as an option to set breakpoints, delete breakpoints, and set session breakpoints, and etc. So this is not activated because we really do not have any specific code right now for which it's not activated. Well, let's do one thing. Let's write up a small code and let's see like the options getting activated. So let's make a small report. I think you'll have an idea of how ABAP looks like. So the first thing, let's take a standard SAP table which is called Mara, and let's take up the material number from that table, and then let's loop into that table, and we'll display the result. So it's a really simple ABAP code, and let's have a look how it works. So let's declare the data, and let's declare the second internal table. So basically what an internal table is, it takes I think it's the sound is much better right now. Right, so what the internal table is, basically it is a virtual table which is used for you to save all your values temporarily until the session of your program lasts. So it's basically a temporary table which you can use to stock your values, and you can manipulate with them, and then finally at the end of the program the table will be deleted. So that is what an internal table is. So let's declare a table which is called tmara, and it will be our uh, table which would look like the standard table Mara. So we use the keyword like standard table of Mara. In the next line, let's go ahead and declare another variable which we would name it WA Mara. And so what what WA means is the work area. So basically when you are working with a table and you need to manipulate each row of your table individually to make some operations on them, so what we do is we declare a work area like I've declared it right now, and you declare the type as like a line of your internal table. So here our internal table is Mara, so we will use tmara. So this is our work area, and basically what we do is it will have the same structure as a table, but it will contain just one row. And what you can do is you can make your operations, the delete or select or all the operation on this on this work area, and then at the end of it you can append this work area into your internal table structure again. So we'll use this data, and yeah, now since we have the two data ready, which is our internal table, and this is our work area which is used to manipulate each row of the internal table, let's make a select. So this is a classic a database operation. So in the Mara we would have a column name material number, which is MATNR. So we select that row from the table of Mara. So we would need from Mara, which is the name of our table, and we would place this value into our internal table. So the command would be into table, our internal table, which is called tmara. So there you go. So we have select material number from Mara into table tmara. However, SAP system will not know where to place, because our table tmara, which is an internal table, would have multiple columns. Since mara is a standard recipe table with say for example 10 columns, and you make your selection on material number from the standard table mara, and the SAP system will not know where to place under which column to place this material number. So it would have an inconsistency. To avoid this problem, what we use, there is a keyword called corresponding fields of table. So basically what this will do is it will go ahead and search for the same column, the column with the same name, which is the material number, into your internal table, and will place that value uh, into the corresponding column of your internal table, and the rest of the columns will be empty. Well, now that we have in the three statements that we wrote, we declared the internal table, we declared the work area, and we made our selection. So our value, our material number, would be contained in our internal table tmara. Now what we do is we write a loop statement, loop at. So this is a statement which helps us loop into the internal table. So we make a loop at our internal table, and for each row of the internal table, we put it into our work area, which we declared as WMR. So, and in ABAP, for each loop, we need to conclude it by an end loop. So there you go. We have a loop. We do a loop into our internal table, and we store each of the row into our work area, which is WMR, and then we can do our operations, so whatever operations you need from the work area. So here we will not complicate our program, so we will just display our values. So for example, we'll do a write operation. So we use the keyword write, we use double colon, and then we use a slash for it, for a new line character, and then we use our work area, and our work area would have the same structure as the internal table, and we would like to write our material number. So there you go. So what we are doing is we are making a select, so we are putting in our internal table. We are using a loop to read our table into a workspace, into a work area, and then the work area will basically spit out the material number into our screen. Except for we are missing one more thing, which is we need to since we are using standard tables, say for example we are using Mara out here, which is a standard SAP tables, we just need to use the keyword tables for us, for SAP system to know that we are going to use the SAP standard table Mara, and that way it helps SAP system to load the SAP standard table into our program, into its it's a way to tell SAP system, well, there are thousands and thousands of SAP standard tables, so we would like to use Mara. So to take into account that, so we will be using our tables, because there is another chapter which we are going to cover in the next video, which would be SAP NetWeaver. So we are going to talk a little bit about how an ABAP program would run in the workspace, and internally how the work processes and how many work processes can run at one time, and what is exclusive debugging and all those, and how an ABAP program actually works. We are going to talk about in that chapter, and so there you would clearly understand the meaning of calling a table into a program, and then calling it into a workspace. So what is a work process, we are going to define it in that video module. So well, our code is ready. Let's do a real quick pretty printer which helps us to beautify the code, and let's go ahead, and we have 3 options out here. Before well, we have a huge number of options, but before you run a code, which I'm going to explain to you later, but for now just understand that we are gonna do a small check on our program, which means which means that you have to, well, we have already an error, but we are going to fix it. So what we are going to do is this 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 option basically helps you to check if your code has any errors. So as you can see, it says you cannot use the syntax right line, so we need a small space in between this, and it should correct itself quite perfectly. There you go. So we use this to make a small check into our program. If you have any errors, it'll show you at right this level, and then what we do is you use a small wind, a magic wind button. On clicking this, you are able to activate the object, meaning that, say for example, the SAP system is used by several users. So all the inactive objects or inactive versions, only you will be able to see it. But once you activate it, it is activated across the platform. So at the same time, if some other user parallelly has a look into your program and he refreshes it, he will be able to see the changes that you made. But if you were to be in an inactive version, then he won't be able to see, and it'll be just you who will be able to see the changes that you make in the program. So this is the second step before you activate before you run the program. You activate the program, and this is our name of our object, and there you go. We continue, pressing the continue button, and finally you press on the execute button. This is a small tool which helps you to this is basically the output button. So after you check the code, you activate the code, and finally you press on this button to execute the code. So here, as you can see, it's a simple code. It's it's spitting to us the material number from the table Mara. So basically there are two values in the table Mara. The first is the two material number in the table Mara, which is 11, and this value, one number of zeros, and then 45. So there you go, guys. That's a very simple program to give a basic idea of what the program looks like. So here at this point of code, we can press the right click button of our mouse, and we can have a context menu which helps us set a breakpoint, either a session breakpoint, either an Excel breakpoints. What is the difference? I'm going to talk to you about in the chapter of debugging, which will give you a better explanation of what are these. And if you click on the editor parts and you press on the right click, it'll give you another context menu which is exclusive to this part of the toolbox. So so basically it gives you various formatting, editing, and navigation options. So there you go. And let's click on this button. Basically it's a toggle button between display and change. So under this kind of condition, you won't be able to make any changes or accidental changes, so it's really useful that way. To make changes, you can click on this button, and then it'll open up in edit mode. Right, so the editor, as you could see when I was writing the code, there was some help which is provided to us, in fact, by suggesting keyword hints and block templates and so on. So you can accept them by clicking the tab button on your laptop or PC, and the next functionality of the ABAP, of the new ABAP editor, that it is a fully integrated development environment for ABAP programming. It supports syntax highlighting, outlining language structure, and real-time code, and not the completion of language structures. With the new editor, you can also customize the highlighting of the keywords, strings, and comments. You can customize the font color and size of your ABAP keywords and comments. Similarly, you can also customize the color, font, and the size of strings and breakpoints and other items in the code editor. So right guys, this is all for this video. In the next video we'll be talking about enhancement information system. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and take care and peace.